back to RaithTV, how are you?
Yes, we're all good, looking forward to the game. Big challenge for us tomorrow, but one we're really looking forward to.
Brilliant. A nice week at Start Spark always helps after a 3-0 win on Saturday. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, I thought the boys were very good. As I said, I think we had total control first half of the game. Second half, when we got the goal, it kind of settled us down. I wouldn't say settled us down, and they kind of forced them to open up and come out against us, and left more spaces for us to attack. And fortunately, we managed to find that. And I thought it was a really good performance. You could see fans were away happy. There was a lot of speed and energy in the group, a lot of speed and energy in the team, and it was a comfortable win for us.
Spoke to a couple of people after the game. Spoke to a few people at half time as well, and I think patience was the name of the game on Saturday. Are we starting to see situations where we're coming up to the end of the first quarter, teams are looking at each other and sussing each other out? You've mentioned there trying to get Arbroath to come out a little bit more to create the space. Is that something that we're going to be facing a little bit more now that teams realise our style of play, and it's going to be harder to break teams down a little bit?
Maybe, yeah. I think there's a lot of... there's a lot of talk about systems, but I mean, are you a 3, are you a 4? Do you build in a back 4 when you have the ball, or do you have 3? Are you playing against a front 2? Are you playing against a front 3? If you're playing against a front 3, you build with a back 4. It's all about overloading in certain areas in the pitch. When you press, are you going to go full in press? You're going to show a team down the side. Loads of different things. But we'd like to think we're a team that's... We want to be aggressive. I think everybody sees that. We're an aggressive team, and we do play at speed, and I think everybody sees that. I think when you get to this stage and you've seen everybody, we kind of know everybody anyway. You can have a wee look back on the first quarter of the games and see where we're at. But if we can get a positive result up there tomorrow, which is going to be, when you start the season, you'd look at it and you'd say this is probably the most difficult place to go and play and get a result. It really is. That's how difficult it is. So, but yeah, I think we're sitting points wise okay. I think we're actually doing quite well. We're up there, and it's, as I said, a difficult game for us tomorrow, and we'll see where we're at after that.
It was a man of the match performance and a goal from Paul Hanlon. It's pointed out as well, 5 clean sheets out of the games. That must be hugely pleasing for yourself.
Well, you try and build a base on. You've got to be a good defensive structure. That's first and foremost. And I've said it many times. You can't build a house without a foundation. So a lot of it comes from that. As I spoke about last week, it's having that. You've got to be good without the ball. You can't be good on it until you're good without it. And so yeah, we work a lot on these things, but no, listen, we want to be a team that scores goals, and a team that is fast and attack teams quickly. So that's what we're trying to do.
And Richard Chin, another international call-up, but of course a goal on Saturday as well, his first start. That must be hugely rewarding for yourself. Have you seen an improvement on Chinny since he's come through the door and been rewarded with his first start, and of course getting his goal as well?
Yeah, we've seen a massive improvement. I think we've seen a huge improvement with a lot of the players, and that's what we have to do as a coaching staff. We've got to improve the players. We're not going to go and buy players or spend monies like, obviously, even like Ross County have done. Our job is to improve the players that we have and make them better, and we work on that every day. There's loads of... We sit down and watch training back for an hour and a half every afternoon after training. Yeah, and we pick out certain clips, things I've been working on to show to players the next day, on loops on TVs. There's a lot of work that goes on. So, and that's out with set play work, that's out with opposition work. So yeah, it can become a long day.
We mentioned the squad last week. We were talking about the squad that you have, and of course you can only put 11 of those guys on the pitch on a Saturday. So it must be a difficult time when you're trying to look around at every player who's earned their position, who needs a chance and who gets their opportunity. And when you get guys like Ewan Wilson and Richard Chin who've stepped into the starting lineups, it must be a good problem to have for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's horses for courses. I think you play in certain different types of games where you maybe need to be a bit bigger in some games for set plays, or do you want to put an extra attacking player on the pitch? All these sort of things. So we try and look at the games like that, because we've got a real belief in the team, and we've got a real belief that everyone perform when they come on. So, and they've done that, and they've proved that. So sometimes players maybe don't deserve to be out of the team, but sometimes it's done for a tactical reason or a reason that we think would help us win the game. So, but no, they've been really good. You can see how hard they've got a really good culture between them. They really want to work for each other and run, because you don't get anywhere on your own in this game. We all need each other, and you can see that with them.
How do you keep everybody? I think Jose Mourinho once said the hardest thing in football is to keep everybody happy. And having been a player, I'm pretty sure you would have wanted to play every minute of every game. So taking your player's hat off, former player's hat off, and putting your management hat on when it comes to having to tell a player maybe you're not going to be starting this week, or bringing players in and keeping players on the bench, how do you keep everybody happy at the same time?
Yes, I certainly wouldn't have liked to have managed me. That's for sure. Certainly wouldn't have. I think being honest with them, I think I try and be that with them. My door's always open. I leave my door ajar every day if they've got so many concerns. And it's tough because I like every one of them and I want to play every one of them. I've got real belief in every single one of them, but sometimes, as I said, you pick a player or you pick someone for a different type of game. You might be coming up against a team who have got 6 players 6 foot plus. Now, 27 to 32% of goals are scored by set plays, so you'd be mad to go into the game with really small players, because then you've got a 30% chance before the game starts maybe of losing a goal. So you've got, and you wouldn't just go and pick a team for set plays either.
Yeah.
So it's a real balancing act, and that's why when you're trying to recruit players, you've got to try and recruit for different things, scenarios, different ways of playing, and ultimately we're trying to win football matches. That's the most important part, and I don't want to sit in here and you get people rambling on with these big fancy words, and they try and fool or pull wool over people's eyes. It's not me as a person. The game is very simple. It always has been, and you've got to respect it, and you've got to work hard at it, and you've got to. The real basics of detail in football will never ever change, and I know for a fact, I've been and I've seen it. I've watched top managers work, and I know that how simplistic and bright they are with their players, and the information they give them with no information overload is so important. So we try and do that to as much as I can. And I remember myself when I played, if you're getting told 10 different things in your head, so we try and simplify as much as we can, and we work hard. We really work hard, and there's no egos in the dressing room. Everybody works, everybody does it together.
Brilliant. And on tomorrow then, a trip up to Dingwall. A journey that a lot of Raith Rovers fans enjoy, a wee trip up north and things like that. How are we expecting to set up tomorrow, or what are we expecting from the game tomorrow? Well,
as we say, tough game. We all know that. As I said to you earlier in this conversation, everybody would say the team with the biggest budget who would probably be the hardest place to go and play this season. The season hasn't started as well for them as they would like, but I think even in the loan window here they've signed another 5 players. Yeah. So it shows you the real intent they have, and obviously the financial backing that they're really going for it. I think it's been well documented that they want to get promoted, and that's the pressure that's on them. But it's a really difficult game. It really is. It's as hard a game as you'll get. We know that, but we also know that if we go up and perform the way that we can perform, we can cause them problems. We're a good team. We're a hard-working team. We know what we're doing, and it's a game that we want to go up and do really well in. So it's not a game that we fear at all. We know it's difficult, but it's a game that we're going to embrace.
Brilliant. Well, all the very best and good luck tomorrow. Cheers.
Thank you.